All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have to delay your scheduled programming. I'm going to post the watch list an hour or two later on Pacific time, so make sure you subscribe for the watch list to talk about this swing trading strategy with options. So, this isn't what we've been focusing on with day trading in the watch list, and if you guys have been on stream, but this is a play I made. If you've been on stream, we are streaming live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's actually here. If you go to the comments of this video, it'll be pinned right there. That's the channel, so make sure you're subscribed. It's also in the description. We also have the stock trading boot camp as well too. So if you guys are new to options, I'm trying to in all these videos explain a little bit in the beginning to give you an idea of what we played. This was a simple call, so we were trading the options. These are the the penny stocks of the blue chip world, and you know, this is 1,000% on the play. As you can see here, even recently on April 3rd, these contracts were about $20 a pop, and they sold out for $4. I had a pair I sold out for $4, but I sold it out for less because of how I swing traded it. So I want to talk about it. You could see how I literally, with the dates, I'm going to go over it, looking why I picked the contracts I picked, and now even taking a look at the time frame. So it's going to be cool. If you guys like this video, drop a thumbs up. If you like these types of videos, you want more from me, drop a thumbs up. Let me know. And then now here's the best part about this, my friends. This is a play that is still in play. So I'm putting this video out. There's still going to be a play. So you guys could follow up with this contract as well as other contracts that we're going to look at. And then there's even more contracts with later dates. So let's get into it. All right, here's the contract. Oh, before I forget, shout out to chat. But here's the contract at April 18th for Baidu. This is like the Chinese Google. This is a fun stock I like to play. But it was at April 18th, and I opened it, which means that's when I bought the contract. Instead of selling premium, shorting it, I opened the contract and I bought it. This was the day it started. I did that on February 25th. So here you see on the option February 25th. Now, noticing where the option is, this is part of the strategy, but we're going to get to that. I bought it for $2.10, which is $210 because one contract is, you know, you times it by 100. And then I sold it out April 8th. Right here, look at that, at $397. That's me. And I netted $391 after commissions. My total gain was $176, just under 100%. Now, this was an interesting one. One, how I played it, why I only walked away with 100%, and there's good things and bad things and it was responsible for even the timing of the contract. So let's take a look. If I open the contract on February 25th, and I did this on stream, so again, make sure you guys are on the stream. We're doing this live. I did this live on this account. You guys even saw me sell it live. If you even go back on the live streaming channel in the videos, you could watch all the past broadcasts, so you could see when I sold this and why in real time. But the Baidu, I bought it in February, but April, so that had 2 months of time. So this is what I want you guys to keep in mind now. If you want to look at Baidu and how to play this in the future, but also now this earnings season and coming up here now, because if you want to swing trade some of these options, look at the time on there. I had 2 months of time on Baidu. I went 2 months out. I was pretty far out of the money at the time. Where was Baidu at actually? So Baidu is right here. It was literally, it's kind of funny. It was not that high, you know, it was around a similar price, 165 is what it was saying, and I said it would go to 185 in the next 2 months, so a decent amount of time, but that was still a pretty big move. But at the time too, I know a lot of the other Chinese stocks bounced and Baidu hadn't, but you know, we could get into the reasoning. But again, the whole idea here now with the swing trading, you guys are seeing the contracts of, and now this is the issue with swing trading, and this is why this is the difference between making 1,000% and making 100%. It's really the timing. You know, if you just arbitrarily buy it, you could get, I got lucky in this case. I should have averaged down, and I didn't want to in this case because of how the portfolio was laid out. I didn't want to put more money into a losing play, especially if this account got smaller. This is the YOLO throwaway account again that got blown up. So, you know, I'm playing it a lot smaller. So you have to control that. You know, you have to be careful averaging down at the same time, but and averaging down simply means I bought this first one for $2.10, and it was a decent purchase, but the next few days it dropped to like 60 cents and came back up, but it held at equilibrium around $1. and then it finally just capitulated towards the end of March, and that would have been the most optimal time. You could have bought it for days and weeks, sub 50 cents, and then it instantly shot back up to $4. But, I could have averaged down, but, and I bought it pretty much 100% higher. And now here's the next part of the strategy, though, is when I bought it in the timing of the contract dropping. But like I'm saying, though, even though I overpaid, I could have went back and bought it again. But the difference between that 100% and 1,000% is your timing. You can't just arbitrarily buy a contract with a call and say, okay, I think the stock is going to go up. Let me buy a call with a bunch of time, because theta. So even then, if you notice, I bought it here on February 25th, right? And the stock was pretty much the same price come even March 22nd. So where's the contract right there? March 22nd, the contract was 40 cents. It was $40. I paid $200, but the stock was at the same price. It wasn't until the stock really went up, and actually it went to 185 exactly, and then came down, and that's when I sold it. But really, even until it got to, when did it get back to that $2 point? 404. Yeah, the stock was already at 179-ish, between 175 and even 180 that day. So the stock was already higher in price, and it was already going up, but the contract, it lagged behind. So that's the danger between trying to swing trade by saying, I'm just going to go long on a stock. It's, options are in a stock. You can't just buy it and hold it. The essence of timing is so important. And now, how do you find out the timing? It's moments like these. It's finding the gaps in the contracts. Again, it's not the contracts as much as it is the stock. Baidu was a weird one because look, it held and oscillated for so long, but the contracts held a value for a decent amount of time before the theta really kicked in. But at the same time, you have to, it's finding these pops, and that's what you see on the strategy. This is why I'm saying you could watch this from here on out. And when you're looking to swing trade stocks, a lot of people say when to buy a stock or when to buy an option. This is a general guideline. There's no specifics to answer that question, but when it's a cheaper price, but as you see, you could still overpay. I ended up still spending $2 and got crushed on that in the day. I bought it even in the morning during volatility, so I paid a lot. I was at the top of that candle. So you could see what happens there. You can't average down, but a good swing trade would be scaling in. If I shouldn't have put like $100 in instead of $200, I could have done this trade better by putting in $100 and then buying $100 maybe a week or two later, especially if I had 2 months of time on it, let the contract space out a little bit and get back in at a different price and go from there. But that is the essence of it. So here coming up now, the Baidu contract has dropped. So it's dropped substantially from when I sold it at $4. So now it's at 13 cents, and it was just at $4 2 or 3 days ago. That's a huge value disparity. But again, the time is really ticking. It's the theta now, because you have to realize every day that goes by with Baidu that, it really had that big jump finally out of nowhere. But other than that, it doesn't really move much. So unless it has something that makes it jump back, what's going to make it move up in the next, 5-6 trading days? You have tomorrow and the next week. So to go and swing this like we've been doing, let's apply the same concept. You could look at the Junes, but even then, the Junes are going to be expensive because of earnings. So why I'm bringing this up, I think it might be good timing for you guys, is coming after earnings. There's going to be a volatility crush, and you could see what these options do, and you could probably find some good swings, but it's the same thing here. But now you see the volatility, it hasn't really crushed. It didn't capitulate and get to the point like it did before. These were at $3. That's near the money. That's the 185. What's the same 185 going for? You see that went to 276. What we paid for the other one, man, that would have been nice. But that was $4 when I bought it, around there when I bought it last time. Probably 6 in the morning. So we could even go a little further out of money. I mean, these are 80 cents. And then, as you'll notice, the further out the monies capitulate, because as more time goes by, if it's further out the money, it just becomes less likely. So maybe these 200s you could watch to swing as these start to capitulate, or even over the next weeks. And that's the best part about swing trading, is that you don't need to day trade these. You can go week by week, really, and you could play some months on it, and you might miss out some opportunities, sure, but for the most part, you played on some big stocks like this, where it's kind of low to mid volatility. 30% is like right on the high range, but compared to some of the other stocks we're day trading, especially the shorter term time frames, it could be a lot worse. But even then, you could even go on a shorter time frame as May and look there. But again, you could play these in a whole different fashion, and that's the beauty of swing trades. Swing trading is you're kind of letting the time work for you to let the plays develop, which is good, but you have to find the balance between the theta. So that's the danger. If you're trying to swing trade, be careful overpaying for the contracts. You don't want to be swing trading trying to buy something up here, especially if you look at the option pricing contract and it's up here. You don't want to really swing trade that and try to hold that for a couple weeks or a month versus buying something with a lot of time and the option price is totally capitulated. But understand, if the option is cheap and it's too far to the money, even if the stock moves up, which we saw in the Boeings today, it still might not move up. But watch those. I am going to still watch the April 18th. I think Baidu, it has a lot of volatility in it, and it really got even crushed today. So I'm going to even watch these on the weekly. Now get ready for this week's weeklies, this week's watch list. I'm going to be posting that tonight, man. There's going to be a lot of plays to watch, but with this Baidu specifically, to even swing it, you guys could watch those Junes. You could even go to the Mays. I like around that 185, maybe 190-ish range, but just keep an eye on those. And again, what's going to be more appealing is as I watch the prices and watch where the stock is over time, the options are going to, as you'll see, as we, even looking at this play, the options are going to fluctuate over time, and depending on where the stock is, that's what the stock is, what's coming up, and how it's been trading. That's going to give us hints that, okay, it's cheap now, it's a deal, versus it's expensive and not. But there's a simple swing trading strategy, a simple explanation, a good contract for you guys to watch. Let me know what you think. Again, drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and get ready for the watch list. I'll see you on stream in the morning. Let's go.